Good morning, everybody, and I hope you had a fantastic Monday and you're enjoying your Tuesday morning so far. This is NYG Jeffy T85, and I'm here to recap the Brooklyn Nets loss last night to the Memphis Grizzlies by the score of 134 to 124, where it was a whole lot of offense and very little defense, and it was pretty much the battle between the two-man game on each side, as each team had at least two players that scored 35 plus points in this game tonight. But ultimately, Memphis got a little bit more contributions from their other players besides their stars, and that's what ended up putting them over the top, over the Brooklyn Nets. Now, first thing I'm going to say is, when you give up 134 points in a game, it's going to be very tough to try to pull out a victory. And this is the second time already this year that the Brooklyn Nets have surrendered 130 plus points against an opponent this year. They did it already the first game against the New Orleans Hornets, or Pelicans, and we saw what ended up happening. When the Nets could not stop Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, and Zion Williamson from having their way, as well as Valanciunas. And the Nets ended up giving up 135 points in that game. Well, it ended up happening again tonight, as the Nets defense, I know it's still a new team, they're still learning to gel to one another, but the Nets defense just could not guard the outside. I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies were having their way in terms of three-point shooting. Their three-point shooting was at 47% last night, 16 to 34. If you're going to allow a team to shoot that well from the three-point line, then you're going to be in for a very difficult day. And Memphis also shot 50% from the field, where they had 47 of 94. I mean, no disrespect to the Nets, but you cannot allow a team to shoot that well from three-point line. Some of them were just great shots, but otherwise the Nets have got to do a better job in terms of guarding the outside against the three. I mean, Memphis was having their way, pretty much. And I mean, Jesus Christ, Desmond Bane was just out of his mind last night with how he was shooting. Just to recap, Desmond Bane and Ja Morant scored a combined 74 points on the game. 74 points. Desmond Bane and Ja Morant both scored 38 points. Bane in 32 minutes was 14 for 21 from the field, 8 for 11 from the three-point line, 38 points. And Ja Morant, we already know how good Ja Morant is, 12 for 22 in the game, 4 for 6 from the three-point line, 10 for 11 at the foul line, 38 points. I mean, Ja Morant and Desmond Bane had their way against the Brooklyn Nets. They were unbelievable. And that's no slouch against the Nets. I mean, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant were also unbelievable. Both of them scored 37 points in the game. Durant had 14 for 20 from the field, including 1 for 3 from the three-point line. And Irving wasn't that much worse. 14 for 24 from the line, for the field. 2 for 6 from the three-point line. I mean, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving matched what Desmond Bane and Ja Morant did in this game yesterday. They were both fantastic. Both those guys did everything possible to help pace the Nets to a potential victory. It's just the Nets really didn't get any other contributions from anybody else. Nobody else out there really helped out a lot. I mean, Claxton had another efficient game, 16 points, 7 rebounds, and unfortunately he had 4 personal fouls. But the first guy in this game I have to look at that was this guy can't stay on the basketball court right now is Ben Simmons. And Simmons' numbers aren't terrible. I mean, 7 points, 8 assists, 1 steal, 3 rebounds in 28 minutes. But once again, Ben Simmons got fouled out. Ben Simmons cannot keep fouling out of these games. We need Ben Simmons to be on the court when it comes to crunch time. And this is the second time already Ben Simmons has fouled out of the game. Ben, you got to start playing smarter on the basketball court. You have to start playing smarter. And he had 5 turnovers too. You need to start playing smarter basketball, Ben. You can't keep fouling out of these games and creating turnovers for the other team. I know Ben Simmons is just getting his legs under him. I understand that. But Ben, you cannot keep fouling out of these games and turning the ball over. As dynamic as you are in other aspects of the game, you can't keep turning the ball over and fouling out. This is not helping your team. We need you on the basketball court. And it doesn't help us if you're fouling out in the third quarter. So Ben Simmons, I know you're getting your legs under you. I know you just started playing for the first time since a couple of years ago. But Ben Simmons, you got to do better in terms of staying on the basketball court and not fouling every 2 seconds. Please, Ben, don't do this. The Nets need you on the court. You're not helping us if you're sitting on the sideline. I mean, besides that, Joe Harris, he got a little bit more play this game. He had 8 points on the game, 2 assists and 5 steals. He had a block shot too. He also had 4 personal fouls. The Nets as a whole, they committed a lot of personal fouls in this game. Turnover-wise, the Nets actually did a pretty efficient job not turning the ball over. Neither team really turned the ball over. But the Nets had 30 personal fouls in this game. 30 personal fouls. They could not stop fouling the opponent. I mean, Memphis had 22, but the Nets just kept sending them to the line. They kept sending Memphis to the line, including John Morant, who was 10 for 11 from the free throw line. And I mean, Memphis just kept getting contributions from these other guys on the court. All these other players on the court for Memphis just... They were making plays and they were helping getting good contributions for Memphis. I mean, John Conchar had 7 points on the game. Tyus Jones, he had 8 points on the game. I mean, Brandon Clark came off the bench and he had 13 points in the game. So, I mean, they were getting contributions from other guys that were making plays on the game. Sandi Aldama, he also had contributions in this game. He had about 17 points. That's where the X factor happened, is that the bench players for the Memphis Grizzlies, the role players like Aldama, like Clark, like Conchar, like Adams, Dylan Brooks, they all made contributions in this game. The Nets, I mean, Claxton had a decent game. Steven Adams was destroying them, though, down low. I mean, Steven Adams, he didn't score a lot, but he had 13 rebounds. 9 points on the game. Adams was a force in the down low for the Memphis Grizzlies. The Nets really didn't have an answer. They didn't have an answer. I mean, Memphis had 38 rebounds on the game to the Nets 35. So it's not that big of a disparison from in terms of rebounding. But Memphis got it done in that aspect. And in terms of assists, the Nets actually had more assists than the Memphis Grizzlies. But this game was really won because the role players on Memphis did a better job than the Memphis Grizzlies role players did a better job than the Nets did. And Desmond Bane, John Morant were unbelievable in this game. Each of them scored 38 in the game. And Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant did their best to match them. But like I said, besides Nicholas Claxton, to a degree, the Nets got outscored in terms of the role players. And Markieff Morris was sorely missed in this game. The Nets could have used Markieff Morris's down low, shot blocking, defense, even like intimidation, because they missed him last night because he was out due to personal reasons. They missed Markieff Morris. And I want to know, Steve Nash, why are you not playing Cam Thomas? Why are you not playing Cam Thomas? Don't you think we could use Cam Thomas's ability on the offensive end of the court? I mean, I know he's weak in terms of his defense and other aspects of the game right now, but don't you think we could use another scorer on that offense? Deron Sharp had probably his worst game so far this year. He didn't play that great. He was getting beat a lot in transition on the defensive end. They were driving right by him. Patty Mills didn't have a great game. Yuta Wannabe did nothing. I mean, Joe Harris and Royce O'Neal, they did a solid job, but you need a little bit more from the two of them. Why is Cam Thomas not playing? Does Steve Nash just not like Cam Thomas? Unless he's hurt, why is he not playing? We could use his scoring. I mean, besides Claxton, nobody else besides Durant and Irving scored in double digits. Nash, I mean, what are you doing? Play Cam Thomas. Give the kid a chance. At least you give us some more offense. And this team's got to do better on defense. I know they're a new team right now. I know they're learning one another. But you cannot give up 134 points in these games. I know scoring 124 is good. We knew the Nets were going to score. But you're giving up 130 plus points in 2 games. You're not going to win if you're giving up 130 plus points a game. It's not going to happen. You're not going to win these games. And the Nets have got to do a better job letting their opponents not score over 130 points. I just got to do that. You need to do a better job on defense. I know Desmond Bane and John Morant were unbelievable. They were. They were shooting the ball incredibly efficient, but that's on you to do a better job and taking these guys out of the game and making them put up bad shots. And you cannot let guys like Aldama, like Conchar, like Clark go off in this game too and allow Steven Adams to control the paint. You can't do that. You need to do a better job on the defensive end of the court. I mean, at least the Nets did a better job rebounding. They did. The Nets did a solid job rebounding. They only got out rebounded by 3. So I'm not going to complain about the rebounding. Second chance points, though, again killed this team. And it just seemed like Memphis had their own shot at will. They were creating their own shot, especially from the three-point line. That's where this game was lost. The game was lost behind the three-point line. The Nets could not guard the three-point line to save their lives. You cannot allow Memphis to shoot 47% from the three-point line. You can't. That is where this game was lost. The Nets could just not stop Memphis behind the three-point line. 47% you give up. The Nets shot 31%. And the Nets actually shot incredibly well from the field. They outscored Memphis in terms of shooting percentage from the two-point line. I mean, Memphis shot incredibly well, 50%. The Nets shot 54% from the field. So, I mean, Memphis' defense wasn't great either. But the Nets' defense was just a little worse. But like I said, every other stat is very even in this game. Personal fouls, rebounding, foul shooting, all that stuff is really even. The game was lost for the Nets behind the arc. Behind the three-point arc, that's where Memphis pulled out the victory. Besides role players doing their job for Memphis and the Nets didn't get as much, Memphis won this game because of the three-point shooting. And the Nets have got to do a better job in their next game against the Bucks on Wednesday, which is not going to be an easy game. I will be calling that game on YouTube this coming Wednesday for the Bucks and the Nets, but this is not going to be an easy game. And the Nets have got to do a better job on the defensive end, and especially guarding against the three. You cannot allow a team to shoot 47% from the three-point line and expect to win, and you cannot give up 134 points. Ben Simmons, you need to do a better job on staying on the basketball court. You can't keep fouling out of these games in the third quarter or the early fourth. We need you on the court. And the Nets have got to do a better job on limiting these teams to under 130 points especially. Hell, I'd love to see under 100 points, but I guess I'm not going to get my wish on that so far this year. But limit this team under 100 points, 130 points, please. That's twice we've already given up 130 points to opponents. Nets need to do a better job on their defense, especially guarding the three-point. So that's my Brooklyn Nets recap. For this game, the Brooklyn Nets fall to 1-2 on the season, early part of the season, after dropping this game to the Memphis Grizzlies last night by the score of 134 to 124. So if you guys like this video, please hit the like button below. Sub up if you haven't already to NYGJeffyT85 for more breaking news, roster injury updates, chatter, as well as game recaps surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. Turn on the bell for notifications when the next video or short surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. And let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about this game last night. If you agree with my take that the Nets have got to do a better job on defense, especially guarding the three-point line. And what's your outlook for the Nets heading into the game this Wednesday against the Milwaukee Bucks? Another tough test. The Nets have had 4 tough tests so far this year. They had a difficult game against New Orleans, lost that game. They were able to have a good comeback against Toronto, and then they fall last night against Memphis. So it's going to be another difficult game against Milwaukee, a game Milwaukee team. But the Nets already beat them in preseason. No Chris Middleton in this game, so I want to see the Nets go out there and play better against Milwaukee. So I thank you very much, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. Take it easy, and as always, let's go, Brooklyn Nets. Let's bounce back after a tough loss last night against Memphis, and let's get it done against Milwaukee this Wednesday. Let's go, Brooklyn Nets. It's, as always, it's a Nets world, and we all just live in it.